We are coming to you live from G12 University of Botswana, and we are here for the much anticipated presidential debates. We apologize for any inconveniences caused. The program has started far out of time, and in respect of time, we are going to have to rush through the process. However, we will want to get what we want to get from the presidents over here. What are they bringing to the table? And for any of those who have been in cabinet, have a look at what they have done. So, without any further ado, I'll give each and every candidate here a minute to introduce themselves. We'll have a roving mic at that Simon over brilliant. So, we are going to respect time, say brilliant. Expectation puts up over you on a hacker and apologies. So once a ringtone plays, then that would signify that your time is over. Alright? Yes, and we need to introduce yourselves.
Alright, good day, Mancoba. I go by the names Mancoba, President Tsabedze, fourth-year student in the Faculty of Business, pursuing Bachelor of Finance General degree. Just a brief introduction. I've been in quite a number of leadership positions in the University of Botswana, not only the University of Botswana, but I want to believe and I'm so confident in the fact that I'm a born leader. Just to run you through my leadership positions in the University of Botswana. When I was a first-year student, I actually took the courage to become part of the LLC Minister of Academics for Block 478. And not that only, but in everything that I do, I strive to do something different that has never been done before. And you might be, you might be witnesses to that. Because Minister of Academics have been a portfolio which was not really functional, but I very like to it. Thank you.
Thank you, President. Over to Selekanyo.
It's Selekanyo, SK Mahube. I'm a fourth year legal student in the University of Botswana under the Faculty of Social Sciences. Selekanyo is also the outgoing Secretary General of the SRC. I'm also the co-president of the Youth Leadership Training Program from Frederick Ebert Stifting, a non-governmental organization that grooms leaders. I'm the co-president of that organization. I'm a legal intern, and I'm the incoming president of this beautiful school.
Thank you. Over to you, say.
Viva Baithuti!
Viva!
Viva Baithuti!
Viva!
Bagaetsho, Dumelang. I'm the outgoing UBCD Vice President, and I'm the presidential candidate of Moono. Bagaetsho, I believe you know my journey. Just to be here was not an easy one. It was filled with political witchcraft, political sabotage, political backstabbing. But what God has ordained, no one can stop. Leadership roles, ranging from political and non-political. I'm the founder of what I used to term the Tertiary Entrepreneurs Hub.
Thank you, Topo. Over to you,
my names are Kempho, Asante, Monyatsi, a final year criminal justice student under the Faculty of Social Sciences. I am from a village called Moono, grew up in the streets of Botswana. I do not have a professional CV, as some may call it. This is my first time running for a big role in my life. This is my first time. And also I am very... I am a big fan of football. I am a Manchester City fan. Kempho, Asante, Monyatsi. Like my name is Kempho,
So I'm going to move on to the next part of our proceedings, and that is a layout of our manifestos, the manifesto pointers for Kempho of the Topo, Kwena, the Selekanyo, Mahube, brilliantly. As individual leaders and also leaders of their respective student movements. So I'm going to give each and every speaker here 7 minutes to speak and lay out their manifesto pointers. So I'll request that when someone says something that you are in agreement of, you keep the applauses short because we are running behind time. So 7 minutes, Kempho.
Thank you. Like I mentioned, this is my first time, and I am the first female president in almost 7 years or more. And what I bring to the University of Botswana is a vision for change. I also bring commitment to the student welfare. I also bring empowerment through collaboration. I am also to bring a call to action. Now, how am I planning to do that? Firstly, we have an issue of not knowing how system works. What am I trying to bring? We want to review our orientation process. I have realized that many of us, when we go for orientation, we do not really grasp the importance of what orientation should be about. Mostly to the first years. First years have suffered a lot under someone's reign. First years suffered a lot under his reign. He knows himself. We have experienced issues of students not knowing how UB systems work, for example, Moodle processes. We do not know how ASAs work. We do not know how, yes, there are students who do not know how ASAs works. This is why I say orientation should be all about those teachings at first. We cannot call artists and then we not say the core mandate of what orientation should be. Therefore, we are calling out for it. Secondly, we are calling out for the reinstatement of online classes as an aim to address concerns like late allowances, approval of accommodation, sponsorship letters, and registration. We have also experienced issues of we lagging behind in terms of our academic responsibility. Therefore, we bring to the table that we should reinstate our online classes during the time of sponsorship approval, during the times of late allowance accreditation, during the time of accommodation as well. Because we have students, those who are lagging behind in terms of academics as well. That is what we bring to the table. Another priority of ours is ensuring transparency and accountability from the SRC at large. What are we saying about that? We plan to establish a student-elected auditing committee that will be made up.
Comrades from the far right, can you please maintain silence? Okay, can someone from UBPSS assist? Thank you. Can you please
Yes. As I was saying, we are planning to ensure transparency and accountability by the SRC. We have seen that there is mismanagement. Now, the root cause of all problems is because of mismanagement. We have people whereby they sell accommodation to students under our view. Yes, I have statistics. I have went underground and students told me that they had experienced a leader from the GS26 selling accommodation to the students worth 4,000. Yet we are crying that we do not have accommodation, we do not have the money or the finances to live outside. Therefore, that is why we are trying to apply for accommodation in school. But we have some leaders who request funds from us for their personal interest and for their personal use. This is what we are saying, that we do not condone that, we do not stand for that, and we are saying this should come to an end. We have also experienced issues of academic pressure at faculty. We have also experienced issues of academic pressure amongst us. How are we planning to help us about that? We want to say, we are advocating, we want to advocate for timetables, proper timetables. Many of us here, it's not like we are failing because we are not able to. It's because of the academic pressure that is instilled by us. Yet we have leaders, by law, they can advocate that for us. How are we planning to do that? This is all about proper time management and proper planning. When we have those timetables, we know that, okay, this is for lecture time, and then this I can do for my personal lifestyle, so that I can accommodate my personal lifestyle. What am I saying? I'm saying many of us here have student businesses. Many of us here aspire to be more than just academic literate. Therefore, what I'm saying is, we should have a schedule that will allow us to also prepare for the corporate world. What am I saying in that aspect is that we need to have a proper lecturing timetable. You guys know it, we know it, therefore we are advocating for that. Another issue that we are trying to bring is security issues. We have also had students complaining about some of us here, leaders as well, running for being in the cabinet again, yet they have issues of mistreating students, issues of abusing students, yet they call themselves leaders. What are we planning as the UBCD? We are saying we want to educate, we want to have seminars, we want to have workshops that will empower each and every leader that is in the cabinet, that they should how to learn their temperatures, how to learn their temperament, how to learn how to control their tempers, how to control their tone when they address students as well, how to address students without sexually harassing them in return of favors. I have also learned that students, for you to gain something, you have to give something, which is something that I do not condone. Many of the leaders here are taking advantage of us, more especially young girls. This is a call to all those leaders. Themselves, they know how they conduct themselves. Earlier this morning, I witnessed that in my very own eyes, that a leader, just because I did not agree with what he was saying, he started to go in deeper lengths to try and suppress me just because I am a lady. And he did indeed use it's true. He did use the word, I do not care if you are a male or a female, I will still beat you up. This is the type of temper that we do not condone.
Can you please maintain silence as our leaders present our manifestos? Topo, you have 7 minutes.
Viva Baithuti!
Viva! Viva!
So let me take this time first to correct my sister here. We are not here for talk about anything. For certain attacks on persona, it's something I take personally because I know. I'm sorry. I'll correct that. As we said, in recognizing the long-standing grievances that continue to plague our university community, we've understood the Baithuti. It's because of division. This is English, comrade. It's because of division, either due to political differences, either due to issues of nationality, they hinder us from actually solving these issues. And this gives birth to our notion, our rallying cry, rise as one, in that we need to set aside our differences, come together, use collective action to solve these issues. SRC, Selekanyo, whoever. It was now about control, it was not about service, and that is not leadership. It was about Kema Kuruhan, Kema Nelambana, the FNB cards, Kema all the registration.
I want to believe each and every one of us here is trying to speak in English. Let me ask for let me apologize in advance.
They took 2 months to be resolved. So Bagaetsho, we have 4 pillars. That is inclusive governance, global student engagement, student well-being and empowerment, and student-centered priorities. I will not dwell much on those because we are seriously. The manifesto is called the Student Charter 7.0. We posted it on March. Now, we are going to address what I term many issues, because there are many issues in this university. The reason why I term our SRC a failed SRC is because ask each and every member out of the outgoing SRC, what are your achievements? Uta Minister Sports, I organize sports codes. Uta Kwena, you are the external office. Uta Comrade, I organize venues for the land. That is inscribed in the constitution. That is the bare minimum. So our SRC, Bagaetsho, it's not a successful SRC. Now we are going to restore the dignity of the SRC. This one, all Bona management, because it does not serve the students. Why unpaid one prices? What do you expect? They're exceeding. It's a problem. Let me do simple math for you when you do a You have lunch, you have dinner, right? You have breakfast. So quick math. Let's estimate. How it's a decent breakfast. That's 19 kula. Lunch, that's 27 kula. Dinner, that's 27 kula. Let's round it off and make it simpler. 60 plus 6 to lunch to the dinner. I mean 30 plus 8 to lunch to dinner. That's 60 plus 27. And plus 19, that's 20. And that is 80. Times are 80 kula times 8. That's 2.4. Allowance out the 1.9. We also have health issues. We also have an accommodation and health issue crisis in this university, right? For in an institution we term the highest institution, you still find comrades by Poka, but I can assure you 453, 455, 457. To this day, there's only one shower. You go for 63 for high rain. Now you wonder what our comrades doing about. What is going on? Now, what we want for now, this is due to the fact that this government, BDP-led government, has not been giving our university maintenance budget. Now, what we want, really more now, is sanitation is very important. Imagine my kids, my good friend Tanya yesterday, on us will be doing Let me move on because I cannot now. I read a lot about it. I read the manifesto here. I want to applaud my fellow comrades from the SPF. They did a good job. They included an issue which I like very much, which is in regards to the spacing between tests and exams. Bagaetsho, to this day, academic pressure. We are not failing because we do not know. We are failing because we are always under pressure. Right now, Banaba BSc, this weekend, they are writing maths, they are writing physics, they are writing core. How the hell do you prepare for such? We want that policy. That is a good initiative leadership, and I'm grateful for that. And we need to review such. And let me tell you something. Do you know why I'm touching the manifesto Tata? It's because the current status quo, the leader you elect, your president more especially, it's not going to about what is written on this page. Because I can assure you, whatever manifesto can be saved by everyone, it's been saved for the past 5 years. It's never been that. It's about character.
We afforded making Paul and Topo the opportunity to speak when there are silence. The expectation is we carry it out throughout. Right? All right.
I'm going to be short and straight to the point. He emphasized that we are failed SRC. And then he's a failed vice president. I have achievements, he spoke of none. And then I
colleagues, colleagues, some items or some issues were thrown on the floor and you are pleased that. So can you please afford the gentleman to speak to his manifesto, although he's speaking to what was thrown at him. Expectation is he speaks to his manifesto. So he has 7 minutes. Making Polar the top, I read the Selekanyo
I only come and assist for UBC as a say. I'm going to speak to my manifesto. This thing that the GS26 is pushing, this thing is a mindset change agenda. It's a reset Mancoba agenda. Seriously, we are stuck on 3 pillars. The first one, and what I'll speak on, is student empowerment. I think if you should have appreciated a manifesto. Manifesto. This is what I get manifesto when you don't grab. He's been in power, Baithuti has been in power. What have you done? Nothing. Yeah, no. So say some manifesto when I say student empowerment, 1, student hero. Student hero is simple translation, student employment. Legends Baba has simply opened, has quite recently opened. Yeah, no. What we're going to do with Legends Baba is to say that it's a male-centered environment. But what does it offer for female students? That open space just right inside that fence is going to create stalls so that female students can also run their student enterprises. And also, the other thing that we're doing is that we're also going to keep on training. Legends has opened a local training organization, a local training academy. They're always praising problems. You don't come on solutions. Now what I was saying is that we have also, UBCD used to employ students. Where has that gone? He's been here, what has he done? Nothing. Now we are saying,
Bagaetsho, there are some comments that are thrown to the floor. As well as we do not condone that. And some, as already mentioned, some comments were thrown to the floor. Please not throw back comments. We address those that were thrown at you.
Now, what I was saying is that we want to resuscitate student employment. I'm already in talks with executive catering. They need to see students being employed. These are cafeterias. We should also work on skill improvement internally before we can look outside. Now, secondly, we have a manifesto point or an initiative which we call Kwena. What is this Kwena creature that I speak of? This Kwena creature is that as the SRC, we have recently, as previously mentioned, opened Legends Bar. If you pass on your way to students and in students and on your way to the FNB ATMs, you must notice on the right, just opposite the elevator, that we have a Toshiba, a printing center, which is affordable for students. There's a car wash coming, there's a bar approved. Even get to get a minister, buy canteen. There's a bar coming. Now, what are we going to do with this money? We want to invest in student enterprises, student businesses. Kwena is supposed to say, in partnership with LEA, you're a strategic alliance, strategic partnership that we speak of. In partnership with LEA, in partnership with Business Clinic, we want to help students develop business plans, proper running businesses. And with this rental that comes from these enterprises, the money that we get from these enterprises, we want to invest in student businesses with short-term loans, at low interest loans. We understand? Topo has also been the
comrades, it's to be a Mahube Mamala Talabam. Has a botany being a sea who's back on all to come and go where I think about we had a man to each. Ready to make him pour it the top. Can we please listen to the other candidates? Catherine Dream, receive again.
He's been the external stakeholder, the external relations officer for SRC. What has he done to bring institutions such as LEA? Salabu Kino wrote that DTF. Onyata Baithuti, he's underestimating the intelligence of the students for a Bagaetsho campaign. Allowance here, silent. Even Braga, Yata. Let us not use it as a campaign strategy. It's insulting to the intelligence of the students. Now I continue. In the recent medical agenda, our second pillar in the recent medical agenda is the corporate social responsibility. We have institutions around who have produced or who have absorbed alumni of the University of Botswana. We need to see these institutions come back to improve the University of Botswana. We want to align with companies such as Site Matters. How we met when you are heavily wounded inside, internally, when you are stressed, depression, anxiety, academic pressure, the one that they speak of. You have no way to go because careers and counseling is overwhelmed. Now we want to outsource such services, such that students are able to take care of their mental health, students are able to complete their studies. It's a more one because women are pause. Yes, we are alive to the fact and the reality that the test is working. But we cannot ignore the issue of mental health. It's very important that we address it. And this is how we're addressing it. Now I continue. This thing of outsourcing services, we want this room, the one that we are in, this G12 room, can be used to facilitate theory tests about transport. For transport. For you to get your we have a market. The reason why Sefalana can set up a branch here, FNB can set up a branch here, is because we have a market. Now, realizing this market, what are we doing with it? Let students get their theory tests done here. Let students, international students, get their permits done here. Let students get their immigration and passports here. We know what we want and we are going to execute. I promise you, the next elections are in March. If I do not deliver on my promises, remove me because come on, adopt a block initiative. Adopt a block. government, this Donkra, they speak too much about it failing. But what have they done to solve the problems? But we have a maintenance budget. Yes, the university does not have a maintenance budget. But then we can adopt a block station. It's not really adopt a police station. Companies such as Builders Wells are pumping hardware. They can assign themselves blocks to say, I will take care of this block. What do you
Can we keep our applauses short? Before I give Brilliant the floor, can I please speak to the few colleagues that keep mentioning Khanza Botina Body Chain? I am the timekeeper. I have a time here with me. I am the moderator of this particular session. So can we please respect the moderator? I don't want to bore anyone in the code of conduct. And as already mentioned, there are a few comrades here that I know of their names. So can we please hold it together? Mr. President, we have 7 minutes left. Thank you.
We make the money. We make the money. We make the money. We make the money.
And maybe to be fair on you said, to be fair on that has spoken. So we are happy. UBCD have not afforded making important opportunity. Moono afforded Topo, GS26 we afforded Selekanyo Mahube the opportunity to speak. So all 3 movements, can you please afford Brilliant the opportunity to speak in silence? Thank you.
There is another party which just doesn't know how to handle themselves. Anyways, and when I say it's time, the students of the University of Botswana are taken serious. Right. So I'm just going to highlight one thing. UB does not have a maintenance budget, but we've been receiving quite a number of updates that there's 4 million allocated for maintenance at the block. So one another theory, is it the students Ghana? Alright, so let me just quickly jump into my manifesto. Right. So what we are bringing as the Student Patriotic Plan, we are actually embedded upon 3 pillars. The first pillar is good SRC government. The second pillar is student entrepreneurship. The third pillar is what we call excellence in academics. Right. So now, how? Because what I'm going to do, I'm not going to talk about issues, I'm not going to talk about problems, but I'm going to just outline solutions. Entrepreneurship solutions, entrepreneurship policy, and an entrepreneurship association. This SPF government will actually embark on creating the entrepreneurship policy. Why should we create an entrepreneurship policy? It's because we know that there are students out there who are talented, there are students out there who are entrepreneurs like me, but there's nothing that governs them and there's nothing that protects them from entrepreneurship association. We need an entrepreneurship association to also be able to make sure that whatever is in the policy is actually achieved. Whatever is in the policy is actually achieved and the students are protected. It's an association which will work on what? On making sure that students have businesses and they have flourishing businesses. The second one is actually establishing student selling markets. Right. And then now that association and the policy will actually aid in establishing the student selling markets. By student selling markets, by executive will stop swinging sweets, those small things. Why? They should stop that and then give a certain portion to students in order for them to conduct business. I've been, I can say, I'm not going to say I've failed, but then management has won in actually I can say brutally kicking out student entrepreneurs from selling around the school. Obviously, providing some convincing reasons. So now we're saying that we are going to then establish this selling market in those cafeterias to empower the students. The third one, The third one is that we'll be introducing night market. By night market, I mean those cabins that are at student center, those Toshiba cabins. Why is that printing shop not owned by a student? That other cabin called student center. Why are we not having 4 students subdividing that cabin so that they can sell throughout the night? Because we know Baithuti don't sleep. They study all night. And then if you are going to talk about an issue of security, we know that there's security at student center. We know that maybe there's security at the library. So now we are establishing night markets owned by students who are actually empowering these students. And then now, the other thing that we're going to do is to actually collaborate with alumni in order for them to mentor our entrepreneurs, right? Because they also, just like executive, just like the other cafeterias, they also have a social responsibility of giving back to the institution that grouped them to be wherever they are, right? So now, without any waste of time, I'm just going to move into the good SRC governance. The first thing that we do, we review the constitution. The first thing that we do is we are going to do the constitutional review, because all these problems that these comrades of mine are talking about, it's an issue of the constitution. You don't know what I went through, you don't know the hassles that I went through to release an insufficient budget, an insufficient report. Right. So now all these things, they all revolve around the constitution. We need to review the constitution. And then how and who's going to help us with this? With reviewing the SRC constitution, we are going to make sure that we introduce the University of Botswana Students' Parliament. We introduce this parliament so that it can be able to represent these students in the process of the constitutional review. And then the other thing that we are going to do in order to show that the Student Patriotic Front is bringing up forward good SRC governance, we are going to do consultative drafting of the action plan of the UBSRC. And later on, we will publish those action plans and then the reports. Now, listen, the problem that we are having is that it's because, that is why I'm saying that everything revolves around the constitution. You cannot even, you cannot even release an action plan, even as the treasurer, without the approval of the president, which is something that is actually absent in this case. And then also, now moving on to my last pillar. I've talked, just a reminder, I've talked about the student entrepreneurship, I've talked about good governance. And then now moving on to the last pillar, which is academic excellence. What you are going to do is that we are going to establish faculty, committees.
What are we please hold on. Colleagues, Rabato, let's keep time.
What we are going to bring is what we are going to establish faculty committees. By faculty committees, we are talking about student representative, maybe let me say class monitors from each course, sitting down with the university, the university personnel, especially those that deal with drafting of the schedule and everything. Because just on Wednesday, when we went to inquire about physics and maths, the one that Topo Kwena talked about, we actually established that this was actually talked about.
Unfortunately, your time has since elapsed. Okay, thank you. We took all a big, we took in the room, Lutule, say, Bokomri, as a moderator sitting here, from some of the submissions made, I didn't get to quite hear what's happening to the table, but rather speak to the grievances that they see in the university. And I believe in my questions, I want to get more into that and understand what really are they bring to the table? What really are they going to do different, other than speak to the everyday grievances that you face? So I'm going to ask few questions, but I'll repeat if there's need to. Let me start off with Kempho. No, we are not kind of orientation. We are going to students that had this system. Not technically, we need to have our student emails to start on how can you access Moono, how can you access SRC. How are you going to make it better? And from what I've since shared, how does that mean students are not educated enough on the systems? And I also want to speak to the issue of late allowances. What is the problem? You just mentioned late allowances. What is the problem? What is the root cause of late allowances? What are you going to do differently? And then I'll go on to ask Brilliant a question. Brilliant, you speak about night markets. Just the other day, your Minister of Justice now complaining about cancer security. Those night markets, the owners, how are they going to operate? You know, okay, how are they going to be safe? How are they going to be safe? Given that the Minister of Justice has speaking about security. And you know, you can't just change or increase security in the blink of an eye. Right? So can you please speak to that? And also speak about entrepreneurship. You made mention of a police. So I don't understand it. Is this something that is to be established? Or is it something already in the pipeline? Because you know, sometimes people come here and lay out issues with no action plan, just to entice the student populace. Selekanyo Mahube, you made mention or spoke about a SRC, and they are bringing in something called a registered money goal. And you speak about student empowerment. Student key or student enterprises within the space. You made mention of UBG, that UB used to accommodate or employ students at the GM. That's not the case anymore. One would want to assume that the interpretation is the reason why that's no longer the case. So my question would be, UB has a problem with paying, you know, the RAs. How are they going to manage to pay more employees from the UBG? And you also made mention of okay, my question is where is the money going in terms of issues of rental? Where is this money going? And how is the rental distribution? If all the money is going to UB, how is the rental distribution between UB and yourself or and your movement? You spoke a lot about grievances that you face or that you have since faced in the UB. You didn't outline pointers or suggestions that you since bring when you assume your role. But maybe let me take you back and maybe speak to what has been the case far along. I've known you as Topo HB Kwena, but that has since changed to Topo Bagaetsho Dumelang.
Yes, Bagaetsho Dumelang.
And Bagaetsho Dumelang. I can respond to such, and allow me to use the power that may be, that when you fail to answer or you are misleading in terms of your response to your question, I'll bring you back to responding the question, and failure to do so, I'll get the mic from you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'll just start with the second question and I'll be straight to the point. The question was, is the entrepreneurship policy and association something that is in the pipeline or it's not there? I'll just be clear with you, it's not there. But then it's something that we as the SPF government we are going to establish, because we see that it's the only thing that can protect student businesses. It needs to be written down and it needs to be a formal thing. And then the first question was the concern of security when we talk of these night markets. There's just one fact that I will state. Students are, I can say, are always outside at night, even in this current situation. And then now, I'm talking about designated areas that I can say are well protected. We don't even need an additional number of security. When we talk of student center, those cabins, and then we talk of maybe those security officers that are the help desk, it's security, it's enough. So I don't think there's going to be any threat here in night markets. Thank you.
Say, no, we are got the red square here, have security hand. The red item in front of 247. You made mention of it, there's no 247
red item.
Okay, thank you for your response. You might give the Selekanyo the mic. You have a minute 30 seconds to respond as well. A minute 30 seconds.
He has asked two questions, and the first is to speak with the resuscitation of student Kiro or Matata in the university, as you might know, is going through a restructuring exercise. So there is no currently a policy is guiding them to employ students. Now this one seriously going for it's from and it's very important that we do it now and not later. University it's and the second question, how much I think you wanted to speak more to profit distribution and not rental distribution, because it's not only profit, it's not only rent but profit that we're getting a part of. From the car wash, it's a proposal. The car wash is a proposal that's been approved. Now, the management part of it is that we're thinking of giving it to a student to run. In the profit sharing, that 70% what's our thing to do with our company, ya car wash, 30% being an SRC, ili profit. Now, ya accumulating. Legend to it will a ground rent, ya 5,000 kila kapi. Ya no, Majan or Atabaza. Portion I can't speak much to the portion. For the guys understand. Me management amawata go SRC. Ko na no our formula yo net rule. E no more etebe chimchimisa by 2020.
So SRC go to the
SRC vote.
Okay.
We don't get cash. I do not go. Yeah, Motoshiba air printing. The printing company. Printing is going to be 50 tab. SRC is at 10 tab. Pay print. Yeah, Bara SRC 100%. Thank you.
You have the next 8 seconds to respond.
You look like a pharaoh happy. It's about to. What was suspended last year? I didn't can't have a 2 allowance. If you are nice, wow, sick is a woman had a Sonia. How was suspend you and Bagaetsho Dumelang about question. Bagaetsho, you can ask the first years right now. You really
colleagues from the GS26, Selekanyo responded to the question.
The first years can attest to this. Yes. Unlike last year, immediately when they accessed the FNB cards, their book allowance were accredited. Secondly, here's one thing about myself. It is a good initiative to bring businesses to the university, but I don't take light to a business that exploits the student. Give me afford and cut your window into one. Who afford the cut your window? I don't want to answer the question. Answer the question. We should allow it to you can, while they have attachment allowances, can attest to this. They are late. To this day, the students were asking attachment allowance. And it's because of submission of list steady late. Management. Now, we had proposed for it winter semester, simultaneously, immediately January, so that students can actually apply for wherever they're going to be attaching during the winter, July and June. That way the list is got my aid. So I get a lot of what they
Kempho, can you please address your question?
My question was late issues of late allowances. What causes it and how am I going to improve that? Fellow colleague here has just attested that late allowance is due to mismanagement. In that I believe. And I believe it's also because of the uncooperation of SRC members. They do not cooperate together. That is why we are saying we will be bringing initiatives that will help us work well with each and everyone, putting aside our differences as we can see that people have personal vendettas and not addressing the students' needs. This is why we are saying we have engineering students. These engineering students know how to create programs that will differentiate students that did not apply for accommodation, because accommodation is one of the issues that results to late allowance accreditation. Then the other issue was orientation. The issue of orientation, yes, we do have orientation, but it's not valuable to us. Yes, we do receive emails, but they are late. We had students, yes, we had students that did not even know how to access ASAS and Moono. You were there, Terminator, you were also posting how to access Moono and ASAS. This is why we are saying orientation should be valuable.
Before I open up the floor, I'm going to have the last round of questions. And this question is in relation to March. This one I would like that maybe in this lot of time, a minute, 10 seconds, 25, so to address it. Mr. Brilliant, the question is, you released a report citing 44,000 kuna plus or minus. The students are asking, where is the money? And wait, before you address that question, I also have a question for the Selekanyo and Topo. Selekanyo, you were in the SRC cabinet, and there has been issues of Brilliant not speaking or addressing all of the funds available. Only Secretary General, as Secretary General, given that she administrative head, and was that in terms of trying to address that, because there were questions asked for Madi Ototaga. What the rest of the same question will go to my dear SRC 2023-2024. So if you need to address all questions, okay. Yes, a minute to address to the question. And can you please be precise?
All right, I think it's quite simple. You talk about what you know. You talk about what's been declared to you. So I'm going to answer you straight. I reported on what was declared. Right. So Madiama Methoda, and you all know that is why I talk about. Listen, that is why I talk about a constitutional review. The constitution or the systems in the SRC are that the money is approved, anything is approved by the office of the president. So Rimajakai, I think Topo will answer, Lima Kamakimusela can answer. Thank you.
our party also on subvention fund. Subvention fund nali brilliant. Le mata, le minister Aban Kantin, the treasury of the SRC, no written constitution. A high treasury, no, I know by the constitution committee. But Treasury SRC, yeah, can I propose the budget of 500,000? I don't want to break in the SRC. The festival, the opening best selling, the Mr. Miss UB, you know, the Secretary General, you want to come. Yeah, my daughter has a pension. I think you are going to the student life. Kita tahu negara yang kita to kono kita ada jual call police, jadi transport, jadi club. Di club kita mah ada di semesteri. Ini terawan. Yang magia mangui, akaola di trip, tu nanti di club. Korban tamai, babu tabawa ex, hano tamai di trip di mana pas kulo no kayak itu loh.
Ada Selekanyo nak boleh cendek. Ada Selekanyo nak boleh cendek. Mereka orang nak jadi kata sama kau. Ini kau punya cepet. Kalau orang SG, orang mereka report dia Baithuti baria thai. Kita orang 500,000, tapi financial report dah boleh tinggi dia kau 44 something. So ini Baithuti baru orang tak boleh tercipta loh SRC. What did you do and what did you speak to? Who are you protecting and who are you red top and I'm making the what did you do as the sections?
I think what needed to be done was to update on a report.
What did you do? What did you do? What did you do? What did you do? What?
I wasn't told to say the fans are my dear sons. Maybe they could get how we were, but Baba 5 who are responsible for managing Tonedi affairs to SRC. He spoke of the President, the Secretary General, the Treasurer General, Minister of Entertainment, Minister of Buying Country. There's one common denominator that all these 5, GS26. They are 500 million, one will have a dog grab. 500,000. YSRC. Ote Nkobega. Ote Kilomu Blue. They are 32. Ote now bona timili Selekanyo kumra hayo na kanti hadi. 500,000. Right now, signing budget. Majority, 2 of them right now. GS26. That's Metania. Management SRC members, including Baba GS26, on there. 8 SRC members, so 8 SRC members are quality directors. It is on paper. I can list them. Majority will go more. For 500,000 to Aluna. Give my dear Lou, as a friendship.
My understanding is that Kempho wasn't in the SRC. She's not an outgoing member. But she wants to speak to the question at hand. I don't know what information she has. My dear guys.
All of these leaders are not taking accountability of where the money is. No.
I think if the issue goes up, it's short of time, so I'm going to ask for 2 questions each from each student representing each student movement. SPF, GS26, Moono, and UBCD. Put it each. I remember here who get the next 10 seconds to ask your questions.
Viva Monyatsi, viva!
Viva!
Now I'm directing my question to SK. Legend Bagaetsho mo sekolong mme o bua gore wena o dumela mo student entrepreneurship le student empowerment wa reng ka dibapara tse dintsi di le mo sekolong di khatha batho. Legend Bagaetsho e serva because mongwe mongwe bone o ka bolela o khathitse yalo batho bao ba ga ba dilo khatha bo mama e leng gore ba ithuti a ba ba khatha.
Another question from Moono. We have only 2 seconds on the clock. Can you ask your question?
Hi everybody. My question goes to SK. He's saying that he's providing printing services for students, right? And I want to talk to Kanya Banaba Fetine, because planners and architects, we pay a lot of money to print for A3, A2, A1. So I'm asking if are you going to provide us with lower prices? Because konter printa ma 80 pula for colored papers. So are you going to give us lower prices? No, it's fine. I agree for it. But so I'm asking for the content. It's 80 pula to print colored. So in here, are you going to give us lower prices? Because it's quite expensive.
They're very homophobic. SPF is very homophobic.
1 minute 30 seconds to answer the questions.
They're very homophobic.
My first question is for Asante. You said teaching students how to okay, let me ask. They said one question, so I'll be asking Kwena. You like playing the blame game. Since you have started, I haven't heard anything about what you are going to do when you
Another question from each movement. Okay, I think because the mic has gone to GS, I'll allow GS to ask 2 questions and then we'll go back for 1 question from SPF. Relax.
Dumelang Baithuti. Na go pole ba ganya Botswana le borre bothe ka boraro ba ka ile mmeo le bothe aka ba le hae. We are re ta ke ta bua ka entrepreneurship. Ba re tilo le ka go itshetsa nyana le rona ya no. Kana ra tsela dilo tsa rona bo di suitse di printara after ba sna go re tsenela ma security mo di. Ya no ke I still be safe ka khanye ya gore after batho ba tsaya dilo tsa rona di a kae a di ta bua kana ya. Le ha ile motho a le wa. Thank you.
Yes, and let's get another question from GS. We have a minute. A question from GS.
My question will be directed to Mr. My question will be directed to Mr. Kwena. Until I heard you making some calculation about 2.4. You mentioned a problem about what, why now you didn't say anything what you're gonna do.
Sorry.
My day talk over 2.4 for students. What do you plan on doing? Because clearly you saw it as a problem. How are you going to solve it?
Okay, thank you. Get the policy government to super SPF and then bring it over the side so that the components can answer questions and conclude. Guys, hey, what must?
My question goes to Mr. Kwena. Why are you taking the responsibility of the affairs between students and the DTF when you already know that that money belongs to us? Yeah. Whether you want to take the responsibility of that money belongs to us. You're not doing anything. Why do you want to take the responsibility? Why? Why do you want to take the responsibility? Between the student and the DTF? Because
Hey, colleagues, can't you give me better than analyst here? Can you ask Monyatsi? What's up with? It's a
so put on the Kwena Selekanyo. Jago kono kana matanda Baithuti. Ke ona a ba ntsenya le nya. Ka bolo le SG. Ape autono na ntsa tsona ke bisela. O tswa party ya go ya GS. Lela irai o ka kula pusharo e paletse palelwa.
Hey, UBCD. UBCD. GS26 please. Can we have the mic? Rukupa mic. In respect of time, UBCD we have a minute 30 seconds, it's counting.
My question is directed to Mr. Selekanyo. I think the main issue would be with the student-oriented businesses. So you can arguably say you have brought a demon or a devil called the legend of Bagaetsho. So the question is, how are you going to empower? The question is, how are you going to empower the already existing Bagaetsho school to compete with the
So what are you going to convince such a big sailor like Sapamaresa and part of those?
Viva umbrella, viva!
That simple altercation been dealt with at the earliest. So, Brilliant, can you please address the question?
Right, thank you, MC. Alright, I'll attend to there are two questions. I'll attend to the first question about Hanya the Rain. So it's very simple. We must understand that the university is actually stemmed to some regulations and policies. So now, bringing the entrepreneurship policy is the only solution that students cannot illegally sell from their houses but have those designated areas. And then now the second question is, how am I going to convince big resellers not to sell some certain items? Ladies and gentlemen, it's pretty simple. They're in the University of Botswana and they are selling to the University of Botswana students. And they have a social responsibility of giving back to the community. And the least they can do is actually empower this entrepreneurship. So now, the other thing that I would like to highlight Hakitsena opusong ka Monday Kinta legendary ya Selekanyo.
I've been asked 4 questions, but 2 of them are the same. You need to understand market, demand and supply. University of Botswana students, are not competing with legends in 100 at all. Basic economics. You're not training academy legends. You're not a am I going to assist the Lonamali Print Tanga A3? It's a trickle down system. I know one pull. One pull. It's basic common sense that you're going to get an A3. So it's basic sense. Plus, you're saving costs. I don't understand what it is that you're failing to grasp. The third question, what GS26 you're not doing another round of Bagaetsho. Or
SPF, I'm the former vice president, comrade. I'm the external officer, so that institution is an external office that deals directly with the institution. So that is my job. Second, the good are able to put on our
One month. You can't do that.
Second, I think if I heard well my sister, I will open the allowance issue, right?
That we are asked to quarrel.
My calculations and that I'm stating a problem, it amounts to 2.4. My sister, this is bigger than us. I did say it's about October, and I went to the Puso, yet I'm very well at 2.5.
Thank you, Madigolo. Thank you for tuning in. Reba Udule, presidential debate by Kwena. Malaka Huber, by Kisai, Motafuli. Okaba, he puts on Ironly, and 3 was in the Bagi Guaki or the Mahube, and 3 more he puts on the Bana by Kisai. Many questions were left unanswered. Personally, I wasn't able with what the respondents or what the answers were. I think you want to go to a big, we need to get like the kind of thing by Ifa. Let's look at how I'm the song, what happened after my Bunera. I'm not so sure about the times, but still stay tuned. So the use of the Botswana society, from myself, from my team, many times, I'm also I know. Yes. You can switch. You go on direct. Mahube ka ulmong takasnya. It's fine. I can. It's like that.
Were you live when I was like back? No. They didn't see my face. Let's go.
Tomorrow is the day we've been waiting for. All the best candidates, the day, you know what we are going to waste. Escape from Marigolo. Yes, it's not the right time to campaign. This is the time to say the Topo out of way. We are here for man. And for change, we are going to change this. Students, voice yourself, make that vote, make that mark, make that
I asked a really simple question. SK didn't answer my question. It's common sense, but it's not common sense. We're talking about foreign students, we're talking about us as well. Are you going to give us free? He didn't answer that actually. Cheap. He didn't actually answer that. And it's SK fails. He's a failure. He's a failure. And not sure what I'm going to vote wisely. Voting at who said what is best for the interview. Thank you.
Can you have an interview, please? Hi, I'm a second year law student. My question is at the SPF. You know what? Most of international students are very homophobic. My chat is what the Mancoba how is going to help us as LGBTQI+ community. Because most of SPF they're very homophobic. Most of international students are very homophobic, and he knows that. For Babu University, they're gay. I'm gay. That's what I'm saying. What are you going to do? That's my child. What are you going to do? You think it's going to do? How are you going to fix homophobia? What are you going to do? I'm not going to say your manifesto. That's my child. What are you going to do?
Oh, whatever. Okay, let me check.
Alright, so it's pretty simple. I think students at home, you've actually got to listen to the debate. You've actually got to hear what these candidates are bringing forward. Most of them brought just the problems, and most of them were just pointing fingers. But then I believe that as students at home, you did see that there is what we call quality leadership. There is what we call a proper plan of what we are going to do. Good governance, entrepreneurship, and then also academic excellence. And then if maybe just to be brief, just go look for the SPF manifesto. That is where it's all detailed. You're going to see who also but also Monday me thank you.
On SPF.
What topic
Selekanyo Mahube for president.
Combo, vote for UBCD tomorrow. I hope you hear your leaders. I hope you do their manifestos. Sit down and look at them. Know which parties got what you want. Know what you want as a student, and do the right thing. Vote for UBCD.
Viva UBCD! Viva!
Ke tsametse le ba utlwetse ba etedi pele ba lona ba bua ka madi a le ra request le le ha gona mo tlhala ona so ya no go bo re tlhope ba etedi pele ba nnete ba etedi pele ba motiye. Viva UBCD! Viva! Viva!
Asante ba ba nkitseng ke bile go teng go ba ke phane sebaka se stone sebaka sa naga mosia mo taung. To make the right choice tomorrow, vote for SPF. Vote for a party that is for the students and by the students, not for people that are idols, not for a person. Vote for a real party. Vote for a party that is inclusive of first-year leaders, that is inclusive of people that know that they have leadership qualities and they attest to that, and the SPF empowers that. Vote right, vote SPF. Kenako, China SK Lito.